On the spot news media, we got the latest news. We don't care about the views, we just representing right. Put local news internationally every night. On the spot, wave that Jamaican flag from left to right. Let's get it right, y'all know the type. We ain't dealing with the hype, we make it take flight.
Yeah man, my viewers and subscribers, what one. A blessed and wonderful Wednesday morning to each and every person out there tuning into On The Spot News Media. Now, my peeps, I don't know how we do it over on this side each and every morning. We have to give thanks and praise to the Most High Creator for the preservation of life, because life is indeed the greatest. So in the morning, my peeps, I have a few stories to share with you, the regular members of Chan Public and also members of the diaspora. So please like the video, share the video, watch the entire vlog so you can get a full understanding and a better appreciation of everything we're going in Jamaica. So watch your snow, my peeps, before we get into this morning's set of story. We wish to share a story with you first, with hopes that this story will help people to understand the fabric of our nation and what needs to be done. Forget crime and violence under subjection. Now, my peeps, when the Chinese decided to live in peace, they built the Great China Wall way back in the days. They thought that no one could climb that wall because of its height and thickness. However, in 100 years after its construction, the Chinese were invaded 3 times. Enemy infantry soldiers never had the need to climb or penetrate the Great China Wall. Guess why? Because they always bribed the guards of the wall and they walked right through the gates. So the Chinese had built high walls, thick walls, but they couldn't build the characters of the guards. I wonder if you now follow me. So as a result, building human character is different and definitely important. It precedes the construction of any and everything else. This is what this generation needs. A total reconstruction of character. An Orientalist once stated, if you want to destroy the civilization of any nation, there is 3 ways to do it. Destroy the family structure by getting the men out of the homes. Destroy the family structure by getting fathers out of the home. And we can clearly see that right across Jamaica, the length and breadth, whether you're living in or out of Jamaica, are the same thing. The second thing to do is to destroy the education system. And we see where that is definitely falling apart. We have seen many viral videos with our students living pretty much the same life as most of the criminal adults. The third thing is to belittle and demean real role models. We see that happening every day. Not even the government have respect for the police, soldiers, teachers, doctors. These persons that every child look up to. Look at career days right across the length and breadth of Jamaica and see the most copied professions by our young ones. Police, soldier, nurse, teacher. Those 4 is the most copied by our young children. So once you demean and belittle their role models, that is also destroying the very fabric of our society. And that is exactly what is happening in Jamaica. And I just hope that this little scenario that I painted will help the ones and ones them to understand what is happening in Jamaica. But anyway, make we get on into this morning's set of stories. Now the first one that we are going to talk about is a knockings and clappings that go on right at the intersection of Windward Road and Mountain View Avenue, right at the stoplight, presently on your screen. See that taxi there? The operator for that taxi, this brother here, presently on your screen, lost his life. Now the Kingston Eastern Police is presently investigating the circumstances surrounding the knockings and clappings of this taximan identified as Kemar Minot. It took place Tuesday afternoon, that's yesterday. Now reports reaching on the Spot News Media is that Kemar Minot was transporting passengers around Kingston when two male passengers requested a stop. It is said that Kemar Minot stopped the motor vehicle at the intersection of Mountain View Avenue and Windward Road when both men brandished handguns, opened gunfire, hitting him multiple times in the head. Kemar was left for dead in his motor car. Boy, may I tell you, the thing rough. Now Kemar is said to be 37 years old and he is affectionately called Paso in the streets. He's said to be from the Rockfort community in eastern Kingston. The police stated that they literally have no idea what could have really caused his fatal knockings and clappings. But on the Spot News Media have an idea. And of course you will most definitely be updated in subsequent newscast. Remember this, my peeps. Rockfort, Kemar come from. Yeah man, saying away. Make we move on. Now we have some breaking news, my peeps, where it is said that 10 persons get caught up, one fatally so, in a drive-by knockings and clappings at a bar along Chartwood Road last night. It is said that one female is no longer among the land of the living, as she was cut down in a hail of bullets by the criminal elements, firing indiscriminately so. Now on the Spot News Media has not gotten the identity of the female who is now deceased as yet, but will most definitely update you in subsequent newscast. And the next knockings and clappings we are talking about took place over there in an area known as Commodore District in the St. Catherine North Police Division. We see from the other day, in the Linstead area, they saw definitely not go on good. Now this female presently on your screen identified as 50-year-old Georgia Darker was fatally taken out by criminal elements, making it the third gun-related loss of life in the area in 3 weeks. So according to police reports, persons in the area heard loud explosions sometime around 11:30 p.m. Upon investigation, Georgia Darker, was found laying in a pool of you-know-what on the floor in her home. Now, pictures received by On The Spot News Media would show Georgia in a sitting position, slightly slumped to the right, with a portion of red substance leaking from her body. It is said that she was pronounced you-know-what at the Linstead Hospital shortly after. The police stated that they have no motive as yet for her knockings and clappings. Now it is said that Darker was seen in her community on Friday engaging with police officers, including Superintendent Hopton Nicholson. that took place during a walkthrough of the area. She had expressed her approval of the increase of police presence and of course the heightened intelligence being gathered by the police to stem the ongoing crime and violence in the area. She stated that it is a good look for the community because the community needs more of this in terms of community policing, that the police can rap with community members and get rid of the negativity. Now, Georgia stated all of this in an interview. She stated, and I quote, "Whenever one is seen talking to police, they are called an informer, and people need to familiarize themselves with the police and get over it," end quote. Now, the community remains on edge as the police continues their investigation into Georgia's knockings and clappings as a broad surge of crime and violence hovers over that particular community. So on Friday, Superintendent Nicholson named Glendon Amos, also known as Bull, as wanted for several knockings and clappings, to include the loss of life of some people in the community of Linstead. Superintendent Nicholson urged Amos to surrender immediately and warned that anyone found harboring him will also be committing a serious offense. Now, Georgia is not originally from the Commodore district. Georgia is originally from the Zimbabwe community in Arnett Gardens, Kingston Western. She moved from the area, it is said, to assist her father, who is very ill, to assist in taking care of her father, who is very ill. Now, Georgia is said to be a known community leader, what we would call a political activist, so to speak. So a whole heap of people really wonder where Georgia knockings and clappings are coming from. Could it be following her from the Kingston Western Police Division, where she is from, the community of Zimbabwe? Or is it that Georgia get herself entangled in some things where she no need to get herself entangled in the Commodore district in Linstead? Well, on the Spot News Media will most definitely be doing some digging into that and most definitely update you in subsequent newscast. Yeah, man. So anyway, make we continue. So now we are going to head on over there in the troubled, war-torn, crime-riddled St. Elizabeth Police Division. And it really saddens my heart to even refer to St. Elizabeth as such. But it's a sad reality that we have to accept that St. Elizabeth is no longer St. Bess, but has narrowed down to being St. Worst. Now, the body of an unidentified man was found along Point Main Road in Bubbling Spring in St. Elizabeth sometime around 6 a.m. Tuesday morning. The police are stating that the man is suspected to have lost his life as a result of a hit and run after being struck by a truck. Now, Mr. Truck Driver, you know yourself. You know where you're going with. Just be like a good little hospital and admit it. Yeah, man. Turn yourself over to the police. That brother there, where you lick down, him have family members too, man. They need some sort of closure. You might get a one charge, yes, but at least your conscience will be free. Now the question is, do you have one? Boy, may I tell you, the thing rough. And still in the St. Elizabeth Police Division, another female end up lose her 3 points. So a 3 woman lose them life in 24 hours to the hands of criminal elements. Now on your screen is a 31-year-old pump attendant. She has since been identified as Sherine Farquharson, said to be from the area known as Pepper in St. Elizabeth. It is said that the 31-year-old female Sherine Farquharson was at home in Pepper, St. Elizabeth on Tuesday. It is reported that she was at home with relatives when they heard loud explosions. Her mother and her brother was inside the home. Now in response, the relatives ran from the building and hid in nearby bushes. Now this is one of the time when nearby bushes is used for good. Now on the Spot News Media was reliably informed that it was not 1 or 2 but 3 armed criminal elements that went inside the house to take Sherine's life. It is said that she heard the tumbling on the main door and she rushed to close her room door. It is said that she shouted at the men and asking who they are and what do they need. It is said that the men started to fire shots through the door whilst kicking the door open and then fired several cans in her body. It is said that the police were alerted about the gunfire. It is said that the police, whilst on the scene, saw the lifeless body of Sherine Farquharson under her bed in a pool of you-know-what. She got several to the upper body and head. Now the sad thing is, it is now revealed that Sherine Farquharson was an alleged eyewitness to a double knockings and clappings that took place in the St. Elizabeth Police Division not too long ago. Hence the reason why the criminal elements came and took her out in such a fashion. Now it is said that it was hired hitmen that carried out that fatal and brutal knockings and clappings. As we all know and as we all have seen, that contract knockings and clappings has become a thriving business in Jamaica. Really sad to say, but it is true because many of the criminal elements that goes around and taking the lives of these persons have no farmer ill against the person who they took out. Most of the times, they have never met the person personally. They have nothing against the person personally. They just see it as a job and them have the tools for the trade and them go do it. And it is really sad that people life just narrow down to a few pennies because people start take hit for at least $10,000 upwards. $10,000 for your life, it's a joke. I could have even $1 million. Come on, man. A person's life is worth way more than money. It is just sad that some don't share that same view. Hence the reason why I started off this vlog with saying that we need to build the character of our young people. A total reconstruction of our young people's character is needed. It is the lack of character why contract knockings and clappings has become a thriving business in Jamaica, sadly. Now over there in the neighboring parish of Westmoreland, the Westmoreland police is presently investigating the fatal knockings and clappings of a man identified as Anthony Evans, otherwise known as AJ, said to be from Argyle Mountain in the community of Betheltown in Westmoreland. Now, his life was taken by 3 men Monday morning posing as police officers. Now, reports reaching on the spot news media is that the incident took place sometime in the wee hours of Monday morning, sometime around 1:30 a.m. Now, reports is that Evans, that's Anthony Evans, and his 17-year-old girlfriend was inside their 1-bedroom board dwelling home with the entrance door to the home opened. It is said that 3 armed criminal elements with handguns walked up to their veranda and shouted, "Police, police, come out." Now, according to the police report, the teen female hid under the bed whilst Anthony Evans walked to the door. Shortly after, clam, 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 loud explosions were heard, after which the men pushed open the door and began to fire more can in the already hit and laying there suffering body of Anthony Evans. It is said that the 3 armed criminal elements then left on foot in the area towards Betheltown direction. It is said that police were alerted, and upon their arrival, the now deceased man was seen laying on his right side with a portion to corn-up wounds to the upper body and head, with what appears to be some red substances leaking from his body. He was, however, taken to the Savannah Lamar General Public Hospital, where he was officially pronounced you know what. Now, on the spot news media will most definitely be making checks into this particular knockings and clappings to see if we can uncover who really is Anthony Evans and why criminal elements would have taken him out in such a fashion. Yeah, man, the knockings and clappings continues. So anyway, my peeps, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned to On The Spot News Media as I continue to bring you fresh news and updates in a subsequent newscast. On The Spot News Media. Yeah, man.